In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. This evening I would like to talk about the reassured soul. What is it all about? The reassured soul is the end of the road for the creation of human beings. It all started with Adam, the first human being, and that was a lost soul. And now it's time for the reassured soul to take place and return home to God, and hopefully with God's blessings we will start a new era for the human race and the genie race, both of them, which will be eternal. No more death, no more illness, and we will see how things will manifest in the coming decade or two. First of all, to make you understand what this reassured soul is all about. I know many people don't believe in the story of Adam and Eve and all these things, but it is true that God created the first man called Adam, and at that period of time, Adam was created by God with a soul that's 50% good, 50% bad, and he was up to be put to the test. The first test was, in any kind of a relationship, serious relationship between two entities, what's the most important pillar for a relationship to succeed? It is trust. So if, for example, you invited someone you don't know to your home, and you knew that he will be staying for a while, and you don't know him. What are you going to do when you don't know the person, a new person in your house? The first thing for you to be at ease with yourself is to test if he's trustworthy or not. So you may go around, tell him, for example, that you are going away for a week, something. Let's say you put a camera inside the house or something, or put some particular valuable things in one place or another. Or you told him that you don't like this room, for example, to be entered to. And then you went away for a week visiting a family or something. And on your return, you discovered on the camera that this guy, for example, entered the room that you told him not to enter. And so he's not trustworthy. You are not going to allow him to stay. So that was the test with Adam when Adam failed, when God entrusted him and Eve not to eat from that tree, and they did it. So they broke the trust. So the reassured soul that would win eternity, it should reverse everything that has been done by the human beings, the descendants of Adam, since Adam up till now. So the trust between God and human beings have been broken. Also, we are not here alone. There is another race called the genie race, and which is the shadow race. And we, as a human beings, are made of two important elements, which are the water and the soil. while the jinn race are made of fire and air. So the way back is to get not to be separated again, because when we were kicked out of eternity, we were divided into two races, and the human race and the jinni race, fire against soil, or you can say fire against mud if you want to mix the elements together. So now, the end, it should be when we come back together, four in one, the four elements, because that was the God plan, first of all, is to create a companion, a trustworthy one. Adam failed, and many behind after him failed. Also because, even Abraham was a great patriarch and was a great human being and was a great example. And God made him a friend of his, but he lived at a period of time that wasn't yet the complete human being or the complete being that God intended. Is still yet to come, because God, when he created things, he determined the A and the Z, and he knows how long it will take for the human race and the jinn race to come together to form the intended entity that God wanted from this creation. So how do we reverse the things that has been done by our beings since Adam up till now, since Adam and Lucifer, or what you want to call him, Iblis or whatever, because he's just a shadow of Adam anyway. So, first of all, Adam knew Eve, so he got married to the female, and they gave birth. Even God, when he cursed the woman, that's what the Bible says, but it's a metaphorical thing. It's because he didn't want people to, the intention was not for the human beings to reproduce an immortal existence, because it will be painful for them, but their ignorance led them to continue generation after generation. First of all, a human being, he lived 1,000 years, around 1,000 years, and God reduced the number of years from 1,000 to, we can say now the average, the maximum, we can say 100 years. So the 10th, it won't go any lower than that. So, and the goal in behind reducing the years of the human beings is that they may start to think, how are they going to return home to eternity? But unfortunately, yet with this very short period of time, people are still attached to materialistic things, to nonsense. They are wasting their times giving birth, collecting wealth, and they don't live to their potential. I'm not saying everybody, of course, the vast majority. And no one can deny that, because we are all witnesses of how things are going in the world today and how it has been going even centuries ago. So how to get to the state of a reassured soul, we have to understand why are we here and what will be the end of the road. I know many people, I've been now watching some videos and lectures from different sources around the world, from many religious background, and from atheists and from scientists and from all possible backgrounds. And I noticed that even the ones who call themselves religious, they have doubts that there will be an eternal life. And they don't know, because they don't know why they are here, and they are still trying to prove if there is God or there is no God. And they are wasting their times about my religion is better than yours, and you can't only go to God through Jesus or through Muhammad or through Buddha or I don't know. So what I understood from what I have heard from the best religious scholars that exist today and from the best scientists around today, that the religious are very ignorant. God is a word on their mouth, but they understand nothing about what God is. And on the other side, the atheists are too arrogant. I mean, now you can hardly find any scientist who's speaking as boastfully as they were before the coronavirus eruption. Because now it has been almost a year since the virus started worldwide, and science is completely clueless about how to control things. So our knowledge is very limited. If you go to any history or archaeology or any encyclopedia or references or books or whatever, you find plenty of contradictions. Everyone writes history his own way, and there are plenty of holes all over the place and guessing, and they don't know which civilization was more advanced and how advanced people who lived, I don't know, 10,000 or 20,000 years ago were. So we are, we can claim that we know many things, but we know very little. So basically, the reassured soul is the soul that it's sure of, she knows God, what God is, and she knows what it was created, why it was created, and what was the departure point and what's the destination. These are the things that a reassured soul has to understand perfectly in order to be called a reassured soul. Otherwise, we will have panic once a virus erupt or a war erupt, or we will fear death. While a soul that's sure of its origin and sure what's God's plan, there should be no worry, because we die every day and we come back to life. I mean, when we go to sleep, this is a temporary death. Everything we did during the 24 hours will get recorded and seen and checked and everything. So every day in the morning, we have, even if we have been the most evil people around, we have always a chance to start anew. But people are not aware of all these things, or they don't take them seriously. Each soul has a duty before it goes to bed to, judge itself. What I have done wrong today, what I have done good, what I should do more, what I should do less. And we have to judge ourselves every day, not every week, every day, because even the most devoted people, they still have moments of doubts, and it's embedded in us that we can't relax while we are in this mortal existence, because the goal is to put our time and efforts to go back home, to go back to God. And so now I see many people, when someone dies, they keep mourning the death for maybe a month, even years. And when, they got someone ill in the family, they go into despair, or they start throwing anything and everything on God. And so it's, first of all, you have to know that this mortal life we live today, it's hardly a fraction of a second of our existence. And people are taking it, we should take it seriously, because it affects our future in eternity. But people are over attaching themselves to everything that they see. They don't have visions for the future. They don't ask questions. And unfortunately, the mosques, the churches, the synagogues, the temples, the academies, everything that's related to religion, to science, to faith, to philosophy, everything have been focusing too much on, worldly things. They never went deep enough to understand the divine and to understand the divine plan. And that's why we have plenty of panicked soul, or lost soul, or ignorant soul, or arrogant souls. We cannot have peace if we don't understand why are we here, and why death is feeling fearful. I mean, many people fear death too much. It's because we don't, I mean, everybody that should be teaching the right things are teaching the false things. When the church and the mosque and the synagogue and the temple and the academy all tell you that family is everything, this is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. Family and money and wealth, it's nothing. We don't own anything. Everything comes and goes. We are here to understand how to return home, how to return to become immortal. No more illness, no more death, no more pain. That's how we can be reassured souls. So when you understand who God is, you don't have to feel panic. You don't have to be fearful. But we do have these feelings because we attach to ourselves too much to the worldly lives, to the mortal lives. And we get, upset at any moment we lose something. A friend, a lover, a family member, we get some misfortune, we get broke, our company get broke, our business is not working anymore. So we are too much attached to these things which are meaningless. We are here given limited time to understand, to learn, to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, to know how to mix the elements together, to know our shadows, to love our shadows, and to get it healed, to get our beings created. We are here creating ourselves. You don't understand this yet. Because, as I said, you have to understand who God is and what is the divine plan. What is the A point and what is Z. So, how, as I said, how to be in a reassured state? We have every day. We have every day. Every soul has to judge itself, to do a list, what I have done today, what I have done wrong, what I have done good, what I should add more. For example, how I should pray. But all these things have been gone out of the window for the sake of worldly things. We are wasting our times for nothing. I mean, you can't believe when you are in tune with God and you got the Holy Spirit, how much knowledge you could get. Of course, with God's allowance. For example, I know now many things that I can't tell you about because you are not yet, like I was, for example, 2 months ago, we are not yet ready to absorb this information because we won't understand it. You can't, for example, jump from the secondary school up to, PhD immediately. There are things you have to learn gradually. And the more you understand what you have already learned and apply it on your life, the more windows will open to you of knowledge and wisdom. So the reassured soul, that is the goal of the creation of these beings, will be the standard that God will judge at the end of the time, of the mortal time. Will judge every other soul according to it. There's a standard. You get a mirror and how much in depth you are to become like this soul. Because this soul, it's like Adam. We are all coming from the soul of Adam, which was a lost soul, ignorant soul. Okay? So now we are getting back to become reassured soul. Once a soul reached that point, God will make it the standard. So every other soul will be judged according to it, because when the immortal world will start, we will all start from one soul also, which is the reassured soul. The soul that's wise, that's just, that's merciful, unlike the soul of Adam, which was lost and ignorant and all these things. So it's time now that we work together. I can see now a divided world based on many labels, religions, countries, races. It's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, we could bring the kingdom, the eternal kingdom, to this earth gently and peacefully, or it could come violently. And I warn you, because once God decided that a soul has reached its potential, fulfilled its potential, so He will put an end to this mortal life. And this will happen, as I said, while judging the entire souls that exist now. I don't know how many souls we have, 8 billion. The 8 billion souls will be judged according to the standard of this reassured soul, of that soul that reached or fulfilled its potential in God's eyes. So, will you help yourselves and let us all bring the kingdom, the eternal kingdom, peacefully and gently, and we start the immortal world sooner than later? Or you want to bring judgment on all of you because you failed the standard that should be met? It's up to you. You can keep with your arrogance, you can keep with your divisions, you can keep being faithful to a religion, to a nation, to a race, and to a political party, to anything. But you will never have peace, and you will never become a reassured soul, and you will remain in pain and agony, and you will remain in fear of death, and all these things that your fathers and ancestors have been all the time, falling for. So it's up to you. And God doesn't play games. Yes, God is nice, God is merciful, but He doesn't create us for just having fun or just, of course He's vetting us, but how the story that started with Adam will end without a reassured soul. And as I said, we all come from one soul to mortality. We can all come from one soul to immortality. How God will do things, if it's up to Him, of course. If He wants to just grant mercy for everybody without judgment, even if it will be a bit difficult to understand this. But I can't see Him having eternal punishment for anyone. But as I said, the more we help ourselves, the more we reach immortality in a peaceful way sooner than later. And it's like, God is telling you, here is the eternity, He's the immortality, and you still can't see it. What He could do to tell you to stop going there, go there instead. I mean, He allowed you to wage war against each other, and you still do not learn the lessons. The nations that started World War II failed again and started World War II. World War I started World War II, and they are ready again to start World War III. And no one is learning. We still having diseases like cancer and AIDS, and now the COVID-19, and we don't have cures for everything, and we are still arrogant, and we are still attached to this life. Yes, I understand we have to learn knowledge, and yes, we understand that we should be relying on ourselves, but we don't have to be arrogant and think that we are self-sufficient, because we are not, and because this is not the part of the plan. The part of the plan is not to, ignore the existence of our Creator. Not at all. This is not the plan. The plan is to gain back His trust. And how we could achieve this? By being peaceful, by being knowledgeable, by being wise, by being just. And all these things do not exist, unfortunately, in this world. But as I said, once God sees that one soul has reached the level He intended, since He created Adam, He will put all His strength behind it. This is the reassured soul that everybody has been waiting for. So it's up to you. You want to join the God plan, or you want to remain arrogant and keep tasting death, pain, diseases, illness, wars, whatever. It's up to you. It's always free will has been granted. But don't blame God, because He has been calling you home for ages. He's telling you, don't go there, but you are still feeling self-sufficient, behaving arrogantly. You still can't see that death is not the end. You still can't see what death is, what life is. You still can't see what God is and who are you. You don't know. Even, we claim that we know too much, and scientists can boast whatever they want. They know very fucking little. I mean, look at our own history. We don't know maybe 1% of it. So enough arrogance, and understand who you are and why are you here. It's time to return home. Enough human reproduction, enough materialism, enough of all these things. Replace all this, narcissism with love. I mean, I know many people speak about being positive and love and God and blah, blah, blah. They are words. They completely behave different of what they are saying. I mean, is there anything more beautiful than, a town that is, for example, cooperating with each other, everyone giving the service for the community for free, his expertise for free? This is how we live in peace. This is how we live in immortality. This is how we can get back God's trust, which we lost. So, what are you waiting for? Are you still hoping for Joe Biden or for Boris Johnson or for Vladimir Putin or for the Pope? If he kisses the 8 billion, food there is in the planet, he can't cheat God. This is not what God is, because the church doesn't know what God is. No mosques know what. I mean, there is no religion on earth that understand what God is, what's the plan. And that's why I've been now watching for 6 months at least, to listen one good leader, whether political or religious or anything, or scientist or whatever, saying the right thing. None of them. Completely blind, completely arrogant, completely ignorant. Enough. The reassured soul is the soul that understands why it is here and where it is going. And I've been telling you what is that all about, and I'm now repeating this to you. We lost God's trust. We are still away from home because of our own wrong decisions, which are based on arrogance and ignorance. It's a lethal formula mixed together. We still don't understand how to take things easy, while at the same time using every minute given to us in order to gain more knowledge, more wisdom. Knowledge not for the gain of money, not to become more powerful than my neighbor. Knowledge is to understand things inside me and outside me. I don't see now anyone who's going to a university or to postgraduate studies in order to really gain knowledge about any topic. They just go there in order to gain as some kind of higher level in society, or get a nice job. Majority of the jobs today are useless. Don't tell me it takes time to reach the level intended to us by God. No, it's not. It's our laziness. It's our attempts to divide knowledge into I don't know how many categories now. You go to universities and you have plenty of fields of study. The letter A, now we have to study 4 years in the university to understand the letter A. Plenty of names, plenty of categories, plenty of things. While you look back, unfortunately, just to the, 12th century or 11th century, there were people who were savants in many topics, in physics, in astronomy, in alchemy, in chemistry, in mathematics, in religion, even in music. Now everyone has to go and study just that fucking atom of things. And you are still do not understand even how God could resurrect you from the dead. I mean, this thumb, why it's unique. Do you understand what's your body is? I mean, God, how did He form you? Do you understand that you are just an assembly of photons of light? Every matter that is an assembly of photons of light. And each photon of a human being includes the physical form. So on the day of resurrection, God could resurrect us from just one very tiny little photon, which is even smaller than an atom. He could bring us wherever that, copy of us exists. And people, what are you talking about? What's that? And they forgot that they were only a sperm when they first came here. So it's, I have been talking for I don't know how many now videos, 10 or 12. And every time I notice that people just, and I'm telling you, if you don't believe in a God, and if you don't believe that you are created, you won't understand a fucking thing. Regardless of how much I am speaking, and I'm not speaking here about a God that exists in a Bible or a Torah or whatever. I'm speaking about the creator of everything, the source of everything, who created us for a reason. And I'm telling you what's the reason. You are free to accept the truth or not to accept it, but the truth doesn't care about your opinion. You can live your mortal life, you can waste your soul, you can do whatever you want. But the way to immortality has been always open. Just fulfill your potential and you are there. That's how you become a reassured soul. Enough for tonight. Thanks for listening.